It's almost the end of Minecraft speedrunning's most popular category. We are that near that physical limit. A limit that nobody thought was a thing until recently, because all of a sudden, we were nearly there. Nobody was expecting to be there, let alone this soon. Starting at 24 minutes and working its way down, the current world record when I started making this video was 7 minutes and 1 second from a year ago. Now that's been beaten with a 6 minute and 50 second run, proving Minecraft speedrunning to being an ever-evolving category. Despite that, every record in recent years has only been shaving seconds off the run. From June 2020 to June 2021, the record went from 24 minutes all the way down to 9 minutes and 36 seconds a year later. In 4 years since then, only 2 minutes and 46 seconds have been shaved off that time. Many top-tier speedrunners seem to think that the magic number is somewhere between 6 minutes and 6 minutes 30, with the final minute barrier being broken by Loki with their 6 minute and 50 second run. As monumental as that run is, it overshadows a run that happened just a week before. If the run was complete, it would have been over 30 seconds faster than Loki's run, and it was achieved by a speedrunner called Skycrab, who nearly broke that barrier and would have subsequently ended Minecraft speedrunning's most popular category, because a time as good as that would have hit a point where beating the world record would have been seen as virtually impossible luck. But where does this magic number of 6 minutes to 6 minutes 30 come from? It seems crazy that Minecraft can go from still having an attainable world record at 6 minutes 50 to then being considered nearly impossible to beat with only 30 seconds shaved off. Minecraft can be beaten faster than that. Currently, the fastest Minecraft has been beaten without a tool-assisted run is 52 seconds by Nitilis. That was with a set seed run, though. So yes, technically that time of 6 minutes can come significantly down to beat Minecraft. But that's if you already know everything about the seed prior. If you know that all of the eyes in the portal have already been filled, you don't even have to go to the nether. But that kind of knowledge you just don't have unless you're playing set seed. That's kind of what makes random seed so fun and so popular. It's not learning a routine, it's pure skill. Yes, set seed does still require skill, in the same way where random seed does require luck still, but with random seed, if you don't have the skill and knowledge of a seasoned speedrunner, there's no way that you're getting a world record with a good seed. What you can know, though, is your approach, which comes down to the version that you play on, which conveniently is why everyone seems to speedrun 1.16.1. Prior to the nether update, the strategy was to trade with villagers to be able to buy ender pearls at the highest level. Then you would take the beds from the village to kill the dragon. In 1.16, you save time by going straight to the nether. You find a bastion, take the gold for bartering with the piglins, which is how you'll get pearls and string to craft wool for the beds. Having this process is exactly how speedrunners can also predict what the best possible run is. That's because Minecraft speedrunning is a multi-stage process, and combining the best possible route of beating the game with what you have available to you, combined with all of the luck that you could possibly have, that leads to being able to know how much each segment of a good run will take, and if you had all of the stars aligned, you can probably max out at around 6 minutes. So that's why a run like Skycrab's would have killed the category. If someone was able to get around that 6 minute mark, what's the point of still speedrunning this category? Chances are, you're not going to have good enough seed luck to beat her. Speedrunners know that that day is on the horizon, but no one was expecting it for a while. But that was exactly what happened when Skycrab booted another speedrun world, where he tragically died waiting for the portal to open. But what about this run and seed was so special? Despite not getting the world record with it, this speedrun will always go down in Minecraft speedrunning history. Because assuming Skycrab completed it, we can look at this run of a realistic what the final Minecraft world record will look like. It all started with a perfect spawn. Instantly off spawn, Skycrab spawns next to a ruined portal with this loot. The flint and steel saves a few seconds getting resources for it to enter the nether. The axe is going to help for wood for getting sticks for tools, as well as having blocks for building. But the real luck starts with a looting 3 sword, arguably the best find for a Minecraft speedrunner. The chance of a ruined portal chest spawning with an enchanted golden sword is 20.5, which it spawned 2, but that's not the lucky part. The lucky part is the enchantment, which can be anything. With 30 different enchantments and levels of enchantment that can spawn on a sword, that makes just a 3.3% chance of looting 3. On top of that 20.5% chance of spawning with a sword, that combines for a 0.6765% chance. Just past that, a village with 3 easily in sight blacksmiths. The first chest contained 2 diamond and an iron helmet. The second, an iron chest plate, 2 gold, and 13 obsidian. A one-way ticket to the nether only seconds into the speedrun. The third then containing 3 iron and an iron pickaxe. Already, Skycrab has everything they need to enter the nether. They grab a little bit of wood so they can craft a diamond sword, an iron shovel, and a bow. To avoid unnecessarily wasting extra obsidian, Skycrab built off the side of the ruined portal. They're gonna need to craft more portals to leave the nether, so having this extra 6 ensures that just in case they don't get enough from piglin bartering, they'll still be able to do that. And just like that, Skycrab was entering the nether in a time of 1 minute and 10 seconds, beating the nether enter of what was the world record of the time with 1 minute and 18 seconds, and smashing the nether enter of the new world record with 1 minute and 39 seconds. But Skycrab has a lot of experience. They've entered the nether more than any other speedrunner, so they have no reason to be stressed quite yet. Entering the nether and a quick look at the entity count, Skycrab now knows that there's going to be a bastion in this direction, and on the the way there, they luckily spot a fortress, which isn't too far off too. An ideal situation for a speedrunner. Heading up the top of the Netherrack Hill, the Bastion is there. Specifically, the top section of a Stables Bastion. One of the best bastions to have for speedrunners. There's two reasons for this. One, for the chests. At the top, there are 6 chests, divided up into 2 sections, which can contain items like obsidian for portals, crying obsidian for crafting anchors, and gold for bartering with the piglins. The second reason why this bastion is so good is the gold. Along with the gold in the chests, there's also gold hidden in the walls. 4 guaranteed gold blocks here, which is also where you dig down a hole for the piglins to trade from. Skycrab was also able to get an additional 4 blocks just from the other side of the wall. When returning with that gold, the piglins have already dropped a stack and 1 ender pearl, so the trade luck is already good. Knowing this, Skycrab throws an ender pearl in the direction of the fortress, then turns their render distance right down to 2. This is known as ender pearl hanging, and it saves speedrunners quite a few seconds. Turning the render distance down here unrenders the pearl, meaning it's essentially frozen in time until that render distance is turned back up, which essentially allows speedrunners to choose when the ender pearl actually lands. While waiting on the piglin trades, they check the chest up top that we mentioned earlier, finding 2 more gold blocks, some string, 5 crying obsidian, and the final chest containing, most importantly, 12 obsidian, taking Skycrab's total now to 19 obsidian. Now returning to the piglin trades, there are plenty more pearls, fire resistance potions, plenty of string, and now 24 obsidian in total, enough for the 2 portals that they need. On top of that, they have plenty of ender pearls for travel and enough for eyes of ender, string to craft wool for the beds for the dragon, enough crying obsidian for a respawn anchor for the dragon, so they can turn up their render distance and have the pearl land towards the fortress. The fortress was a little bit far, so it could have shaved like 10 seconds off a better run, but nothing too crazy. Throwing a second ender pearl, it lands on a rough spot on the side of the fortress, but Skycrab recovers really well. Something that seems to be a repeating theme in world records. In Drip's world record run, they had the exact same thing happen. Now arriving at the fortress, this is where the looting 3 sword comes into play, which can shave off more time than you'd ever think it would. While blaze rod drops seem a relatively generous rate of 50%, the issue lies with getting them time and time again. As a portal can spawn with up to 12 eyes needed, and each blaze rod giving you 2 blaze powder, you're gonna need 6 blaze rods. Hitting 50% twice in a row drops down to 25%, and by the time you get to 6 times in a row, that luck is 1.563%. Looting 3 on a sword, however, changes that situation completely. Each looting 3 kill will drop between 0 and 4 blaze rods. Without having to go to a spawner and spotting 3 stray blazes, Skycrab goes for them. The first one drops 3 rods, the second drops 1, and the third drops 2. They now have all of the rods that they need within 13 seconds of hitting that original blaze. So now they can leave the nether for the first time to start locating the stronghold, known as blinding for speedrunners, in a time of 4 minutes and 3 seconds. The fastest ever blind split. So now things just ramped up a whole lot more. Even better for Skycrab, the portal was on the surface of the overworld. Most of the time when you end up doing this, you end up in a cave, so you need to dig out. Not for Skycrab though. They can align themselves straight away with a boat and start locating the stronghold, using this approved bot called Ninja Brain Bar. Basically how it works is it takes the exact coordinates and position of the enderized path, then using the rings of where strongholds can spawn and triangulation, it can locate with accuracy exactly where the stronghold is. Really complex stuff. With now 100% certainty of what the coordinates of the stronghold are, Skycrab can go back to the nether and head to those coordinates in the nether. Before getting in the portal, Skycrab crafted all their explosives to kill the ender dragon, entered the nether, and headed to the coordinates. With some amazing pearl throws, it easily took another chunk of time off the final time. When building the portal, they do fall in the lava though, but they had fire resistance and they did recover really well. Yeah, this would have probably taken a few seconds off the final run, but realistically, your nerves are going to be through the roof at this point. In a rush, in typical speedrunning fashion, they left their boat in the nether, something that we're going to be coming back to later. Regardless of the slight mess up, they were in the stronghold in another world record time, 5 minutes and 2 seconds. While waiting for the portal animation, they got their pie chart ready to locate the direction of the silverfish spawner and navigate to the portal really quick. As they were out of food, they did a quick hunger reset and headed straight into the portal, entering the end in 5 minutes and 27 seconds. Yet another world record time. At this point, all of the luck-based factors were over. This is the easiest part for seasoned speedrunners. And Skycrab didn't waste any time. They pearled up onto the island, started crafting blocks to build up with, and threw another pearl to head to the tower to start zero cycling. But little did they know, this was where everything went tragically wrong. We'll get to that in a minute though. For now, let's see the rest of their run. They pearled up the tower where the dragon was circling. They built up and started zero cycling, using the explosives that they crafted earlier and arrows to slow down the dragon when needed, successfully killing the ender dragon.
Oh my god!
All that was left was to pearl down to the portal and wait for it to open. Then, this happened. Somehow, Skycrab died to an enderman. But when did they even look at an enderman? Well, that's the heartbreaking thing. When they pearled up to the island, their line of sight was perfectly lined up with the eyes of an enderman. Quite far in the distance, too. Not only was this hard to see due to that distance, the majority of the time they spent looking at the eyes of the enderman, it was whilst they were crafting in their inventory. In total, they looked at the enderman for 15 frames, 9 of which were in their inventory. And how long do you have to look at an enderman for it to aggro on you? 15 frames. 1 frame less, or a few pixels to the sides, and this would have been the world record. Yes, the enderman was shown aggroing after. Looking back, you can see it chasing when they were building up to the 0 cycle. But in this situation, you're never gonna notice that. That boat that we mentioned earlier, if that boat was used to get down and save a bit more health, or if it was used to make the enderman sit in it, or even if Skycrab had seen this minecart chest from a mine shaft that intersected the portal room that had just a little bit of bread, tiny things like that could have seen the run through. The virtually unbeatable run. Despite the unfortunate end to it, it was still an incredible run. It really was a vision into the future, letting us see exactly what the final Minecraft 1.16 plus random seed glitchless speedrun will probably be. A low 1 minute nether enter, with all of the tools and a fortune sword. A brilliant bastion play, with good drops. A fast commute to the fortress with a looting 3 sword helping you. A blind portal onto the surface around the 4 minute mark. Good stronghold navigation, and finishing off with a 0 cycle. If this run was complete, it probably would have been enough to stop most of the top tier speedrunners stop speedrunning this version at all. But the interesting thing, this was still a beatable run. Realistically, a perfect run would have seen a slightly better seed, the same bastion type, but it could have been a little bit closer to the original portal. The fortress could have been closer to the bastion as well. You don't want too close, because then you won't be able to pearl hang. But maybe like 3 chunks away would have been quite nice. The terrain getting to the bastion could have been slightly better, but apart from these micro requests, the chances of this perfect seed existing, along with a perfect runner to make the most of it, there's a good chance we probably won't ever see a significantly faster run than this, if seeing a faster run at all. If anyone was the person to do it though, Skycrab is probably the person for the job. Nobody in Minecraft speedrunning has more experience. Nobody has been climbing in PBs as fast or as consistent as them. They have more nether enters than anyone, more first structure enters than anyone, and every other benchmark like that, they're in the top 10. As I'm writing this video, literally yesterday they had a speedrun time of 8 minutes and 34 seconds. If that was someone else's PB, that random run alone would put them nearly in the top 50 speedrunners. I mean, right now, Skycrab's average run time in the last 30 days is literally 8 minutes and 38 seconds. So, given the right seed and the right luck, I have no doubt that we'll see Skycrab being the person to have the world record. But will we ever see the perfect seed and the perfect run? We don't truly know. Maybe 6 minutes is in fact breakable. Right now, all we can do is sit and wait until the inevitable time happens and Minecraft 1.16 speedrunning comes to a final leaderboard.